Hey y'all, Leta here again. Today I am back in the workshop and I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little Pallet Scarecrow. He is so adorable. I mean, look at that face. So cute. And he's going to be going into my front yard in my bushes and my flower bed. So let's just go ahead and get started and I'll show you how to make this adorable little Pallet Scarecrow. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and stain this top portion of the scarecrow, and this is his hat. And as you notice, that this top braced part of the wood here is the rim of his hat, but it is also at an angle, and you can put that at any angle that you like, or you can have it go straight across. It doesn't matter, but I put mine at an angle. And you might want to use some gloves for this portion because, you know, it's stained. It's going to stain your hands pretty bad. And you can also, if you don't want to use stain, you can water down some brown paint and use that if you like. So I'm just going to stain this a little bit. It's already got a lot of old look to it because of the wood, but I'm just going to put a few darker spots in. I'm not going to completely coat it in a stain because I don't want it to look new. I do want it to look old. So we're just gonna put some stain here and there just to kind of give it a darker look too as well. As you can see, I am not loading up the wood with stain. It's heavier in some spots and lighter in some, so that's all that I am looking for at this point. Now if you've got some raw wood showing where it's kind of really light, you may want to put some stain there so it doesn't have that new look to it, which is what I'm doing on the ends because that's where it was broken, and so I don't want those ends like that to show. So that is about it for his hat. We want it to look, like I said, old and like it's been in the weather for a long time, and actually this palette probably has been out in the weather for a long time, but we're just helping it along here just a little bit. Okay, that's going to be awesome and wonderful, just like that. Okay, hold this up so you can see just a little better. You can see that at all the stain on there. It gives it that darker look. Okay, now for his face, we're just going to take some white paint that I'm going to dilute with water just a little bit, and we're just going to kind of give it a white wash look. Again, we do not want the wood completely covered. We want some of that wood to kind of stand out. So I just have an old bowl, and I just took some white paint that I had, and I just mixed it up really good. I'm going to pour it into this bowl. We don't really need a lot because, like I say, it's just a wash. Oops, drop some on his hat. Gotta get that off. Okay, and we're just going to water that down just a little bit, just to make it kind of runny. Mix it up. Okay, now you can just see it's kind of really watery and really runny, and that's what you are looking for. Okay, I'm just taking a sponge brush and I'm just going to go right down the front of him. And you see how that is not covering up the wood. That is exactly the effect that I'm going for, because we don't want him to be all nice and completely white, because we want that old weathered look to this little Pallet Scarecrow. So he is going to be so cute. Keep applying until you get the desired effect that you want. Now, if you want your snowman, I hope your snowman, I'm ahead of myself here. If you want your scarecrow to be completely painted white, that's up to you. You can go ahead and do that. That's just fine. Anything that you craft, you know, you just make what you like. Use the effect that you want to have, and then that's great, because this is your craft. If you want it to be different than what is shown to you, you go right ahead. Make it your own. Okay, so our scarecrow is fairly dry now, and I'm going to go ahead and put his face on. But what I have done is I have started a sketch of his face. I did it in pencil just so that when I paint it, you know, I've kind of got a pattern to kind of follow. But I just sketched a little triangle for his nose, just a rough area of where it's going to go. And you know, you can put any kind of design on here that you want, any kind of face shape, you know, any kind of eyes, nose, and his mouth. And after you get it all sketched out, you're just going to go ahead and paint on his little orange nose. And I've got some orange paint here, and also his mouth, which I'm probably going to use black, and his eyes are going to be black and white. And so going to have some little bit of a rosy cheeks, just a little bit. And so we're going to go ahead and get started on that and give him the cutest little face ever. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start filling in his little nose here. And you're just going to take your brush, and remember, this does not have to be perfect, because this is supposed to be, you know, kind of rustic looking, like it's been sitting outside for a long time. And so, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. So you're just going to fill in your little nose here, and you can make this orange, or, you know, whatever color that you want is fine. It can be red or whatever. And this will probably take a couple of coats, because I do want his nose to kind of stand out. So I probably will put a couple of coats on his nose. I may even outline it in black just a little bit so it stands out really well. So that's his adorable little nose. And I think I'm going to make it just a little bit wider here. A little bit wider nose. We want to be able to see his nose. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in his eyes, and I'm just using a black paint, and this is just the little acrylic craft paints that you can get at any craft store. That's what I'm using for the paint, and I'm just going to fill it all in the black. I'm probably going to leave a little bit on the edge, because I will be going around the edge in white, and so being as black's a little bit difficult to cover up. I probably won't get right next to my line. I'll leave a little bit of space, so it won't be quite so hard to cover up that black paint. But I will just fill in his eye here. All black, because we really want his eye to pop. Okay, so I've gone ahead and kind of made his little smile here. I've finished filling in his eyes all up here, so he looks so cute. And we're just making this little smiley face. I just drew a little line here, a little half circle, to give him his little smile. Oh, there's this little smile. Isn't he cute? Let's give him a couple of little lines here, the corners of his smile. There we go. Cute, cute. He's looking awesome. Alrighty. Continue on here with his he needs a little bit of a rosy cheek, don't you? Let's start that. Okay, so I'm working on his little cheeks here. I'm just gonna kind of not put a lot of paint on my brush, just a little bit so that I can, you know, I don't want it to be a solid pink circle there. So I take most of the paint off of my brush before I put it on his little cheeks. So what you would do is just dab your paintbrush and your paint, and then just take a cloth and wipe most of that paint off, so it's kind of a dry brush. Has a little bit of the pink on it, but it's not sopping with the paint. Just kind of a dry brush instead of that wet paint brush there. Kind of spread it out as you make your circle bigger. That way that brush is really dry. Then it just gives a faint pink look to the outer cheek there. Isn't he cute? He's coming right along. Yes, he is. Loving this little guy. Okay, so things are drying up pretty good, and I'm just going to take a sponge, but I'm going to use the same technique I did on his cheeks, and I dried the brush off really good, you know, so it's just going to be a dry kind of brush. It's not going to be dripping with paint, and I'm just going to go lightly over his mouth and his cheeks, because I don't want it to stand out. I want it to have that old weathered look as well. You're just going to go something like that, and over his little nose as well. So it kind of gives it some old, like it's scratched and it's been around for a long time. And I will do that over his eyes and everything. And then we will put his finishing touches on his eyes and give him a little decoration for his hat, and we will be all finished with our Pallet Scarecrow. Okay, I'm looking at my scarecrow here. I think he needs a little bit more definition around his eye, so I'm going to kind of go around it in a brown kind of color, just to give it a little bit more definition, so that you know, it stands out from the white just a little bit more, and it's not you know, have to be a lot of paint, just so it just gives it just a little bit more depth to his eye. Around him lightly like this, and like I say, it doesn't have to be filled in all the way, because we want him to look kind of old. So there's just a little bit more definition in his eyes. It stands out just a little better if you can see that. Okay, we're gonna let that dry up really good, and we need to also add some little, you know, before we do that, before we let it dry, we're gonna add just a little dots right in his eye. You know how you put those little white dots on your eye? We're going to go ahead and do that for our snowman. I'm just going to use the tip of the wooden end of my paintbrush, dip it right in my paint, and just make a little dot right on the corner of his eye. That. A little bit more paint there. There we go. And let's give him one in the other eye. Cute. Let's see. I'm going to give him two. Let's see. And do that. There we go. Give him a little twinkle in his eye. Alright. Now we'll let these eyes dry up really good, and then we will give them a dry brush of white paint, and we'll be just about finished. Okay, so our little eyes have dried up really well. We're going to continue the dry brush technique right over them, just to give them a little old look to them. Not a lot, just a little bit. That was a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. All right, there we go. Now he is just adorable. I'm just loving this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our little hat topper. Bought this little sunflower, and then just made the bows and put some raffia around it. And we're going to put it on his hat. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all glued on here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put on the little embellishment that I made. I'm going to put it right on this part of his hat, this part of the wood here that looks like his hat. Just gonna daub quite a bit of hot glue back here because I want it to stay. So I'm gonna put quite a bit of glue here. Definitely don't want it to come off. Ooh, that's a lot of glue. Okay. All right. Just turn it over and press it, hold it right on that piece of wood so it adheres really well. Be careful because there's a lot of glue here and it will really burn you. Okay. Awesome. Can you see how cute he is? Oh, goody goody. He just looks adorable. Let me set him up so that you can see him better. Here is our adorable little scarecrow. He is so cute. And I am going to go put him in my yard here in just a few minutes and get him in his spot. He's adorable. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed watching me make this little pallet scarecrow, and I hope that you'll give him a try. It's very inexpensive craft and it's really easy. You really can't mess it up, so that's the best thing. That's what I like. Okay, and I will see you guys again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.